Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to part 9 of the Slither.io tutorial series in Scratch. So far, we have gotten the majority of the code done. So good job. We're going to be adding some final changes in these last couple episodes. And today we're going to be starting with some of the variables as well as some of the main menu that we're going to be adding. So far, to check out our game, we have this newly created hover mouse and a smoother snake because it now follows that instead of our mouse. And we have the boundary system, which is actually going to become important today. So the first thing I want to do is manage our variables. So first of all, let's hide everything except for length because our user doesn't really care to see that. So if it says sprite 30, we should go into sprite 3 and then we can disable a bunch of those. But as you can see, with length, it starts jittering. It's always jittering, and we don't like them. The reason is because sometimes it has decimals and sometimes it doesn't, and Scratch doesn't know how to handle that smoothly, so it just ends up jittering. There's a pretty easy solution to this. What we do is let's go into our backdrops. I'm going to create a new variable, and we're going to call this variable shown or length shown. And as you may guess, this is the length that's going to be shown to the user. And the way we manage this is say set length shown. Make sure this is in the same forever, and we're going to go into operators, and all we're going to do is round it. And so round basically will take away the decimal points. And so now if we look at the two, you can see that they're same on the outside except for the decimals, except this one is a lot smoother. So now we can just hide the length, and if we drag this to the same position, you can see that length shown is just so much smoother and so much more readable. So yeah, that's basically it. The next thing we are going to be doing here is adding some of the main menu beginnings. And so we're going to create a new variable. We'll call it mode. And so mode is going to be the master variable. That's just going to manage what mode we're in. We could be in menu mode, which is going to show a start button, or we could be in game mode, which is the snake and playing that. So we're going to press OK. Make it for all sprites. And what we're going to do here is set mode to menu when we start off, because we want to start off in the menu. We don't want to start off right away game. We want some introduction. We're going to create one of the new variables, or one of the new sprites. We're going to upload a costume, and this one's going to be called logo. Whoops, this one right here. And there's some text underneath it that you can't immediately see, but it says click to start. So what we're going to do here is first, let's just drag this to the center. It doesn't mean exact yet because we're going to be actually change that in a future episode, make it animate. But we're going to say when flag is clicked, forever, if else, and we only want to show this if we're in menu mode. So we're going to say if, and this should become pretty obvious, but we're going to say if our mode is equal to menu, then show. Otherwise, so else, let's hide. So now if I click this, you can see we're in menu. But then if I was to set menu to let's see, where's that? Or sorry, if I was to set mode to 0, then it goes away. Perfect. So now we want to be able to click to start, right? It says click to start. Let's make that actually work. So we're going to say if. So we're going to control. We're going to actually drag in two ifs and drag them inside underneath the show. And so we're going to say if we are touching our mouse pointer and our mouse is down, and there's a reason we aren't going to do this in an and statement from operators, which I'll explain shortly, but just make sure doing two different ifs. Then we're going to change our mode. You could just say set mode to game. And so now if I click on this, it actually changes to game. But there's a problem. You can see that our snake is still moving even when we are in menu mode. So the way to fix this is pretty easy. We're going to go here, and we're only going to do this because this is the code that manages changing player X and player Y, which is really what we care about. We're going to say only do this if the mode of our entire project is equal to game. So now you can see, we can still see the food, which is kind of a cool effect, but we can't actually move. We still have this hover thing, which I think is awesome. And so we can click to start, and then it starts. But as you can see, if we go to a boundary, we don't die. So let's do something about that right now. And we're going to do a lot more with this in the next couple episodes, but we can get started right here, and just to show you guys. So in events, we're going to say when flag is clicked. So make sure to do this. When flag is clicked, forever, if. Now there's two ways to die. One is if length goes below 0, or specifically if length shown goes below 1, because we don't want to be showing a length of 0 to our user, and then they're like, wait, what? I should be dead, but you're not. So we want to say if our length shown is less than 1, or, and this is the second way, which is if we touch a boundary, one of those red boundaries. So if length shown is less than 1, or if we are touching our boundary, which in my project is sprite 4, because I haven't bothered to rename them, then we're going to do a bunch of the resetting stuff. So the first thing is we're going to reset the player position. Now make sure you don't set cam x to 0. Make sure you set player x to 0, because cam x will follow player x, and same with cam y and player y, but we want to have a smooth animation, so we have to set player y and player x to 0. The next thing we want to do is set length to 50, because that's what we have started with, I believe. Let's just double check here. Yeah, you can see we have 50. And so we're going to set length to 50. And then we also want to set our mode, right? And this is the new variable created in this episode, to menu. So now let's take a second. Let's play. You can see we can't move in this mode. But when I click here, and let's say I go to the boundary, you can see that we immediately teleport. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, but there's this little residue of our previous clones that are still stuck at the top. And the way to hide those for the time being is actually pretty easy. We can do a simple trick. It's what we have done before, but we can just make sure you have the go to above the set size to 75 plus length divided by 2. And like we did in the other variables, or in the other sprites, we can just say set size to 400. Now this is the little trick that will hide a clone when it's on the boundary if you don't want it to show. So basically, if you don't understand that, don't worry, it's a little hack. But now if I go to the edge, you can see that, oops, let's see, it looks like I'm doing something wrong here. This is in our when flag is clicked. We actually want to be doing this in our clone. So let's move this here, and now we can put this above here. So it should be set size to 400, go to, and then set size to 75 plus length divided by 2. And these are the same blocks that kind of fooled me. But make sure you add it to the when I start as clone. So now, there we go, we just caught a bug. And now if we do it, it should work. So you can see that we get to see it when it's crossing, but it's not stuck at the top. And that's actually a pretty cool effect, because we get to see where our clone was, right? But now we're taken back to the center, and the background kind of moves smoothly. So that's where I'm going to leave this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We worked on the menu. We added some more smooth animations, really making this game complete. And we're going to continue to refine it and add the finishing touches in the next couple episodes. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys later. Peace out.